Hello guys, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. All right, so we have an article here that I want to share with you. I'll put the link down below in the description. It's something that people that are interested in knowing what's going on with T-Mobile business inside the corporation, and if you're an employee and you stumble upon this video, good for you to know in case you're not being notified. You'd be surprised. I've had a couple of people comment in some of the T-Mobile videos about changes with benefits, employee benefits being removed, fees going up. I've had at least two different, from what I understand, T-Mobile employees that were not notified about these changes. And that's really bad for you guys if you're a T-Mobile employee, because you should be the first to know. T-Mobile should be protecting you and suiting you up with armor, because you guys need to know about these changes before customers do, because when they find out, they're not going to be happy and they're going to come swinging at the employees. So like I said, employees need to be suited up and ready for battle when these changes take place. So one of the biggest things you guys need to know is if you're possibly going to be getting laid off. And we're looking at a possible situation where T-Mobile may be making another round of layoffs. So out of all the articles that I've read on this subject so far, there's a few. I've chosen this one. I feel this one has a little bit more information than the others. So I figured if I'm going to share this with you guys, I want to be able to get as much information, or at least give you guys some kind of idea of why they're doing this or what's really happening. So we don't have a whole lot of information here, but there's some key points that are pretty much hinting towards this is real. This is going to happen. More employees will be let go. Now, a lot of the speculation here is we know that when T-Mobile merged with Sprint, they were promising to keep a lot of the staff. They weren't going to make any of those drastic changes. In fact, they had promised it would elevate the economy by bringing more job opportunities within a T-Mobile corporate setting. And we know that that wasn't true. At some point, an entire bunch of teams, should I say, were let go from Sprint, and it was not right. It was not fair, and T-Mobile lied. And this is not a pick at T-Mobile. We know this already. Anybody that watches my videos, if you've been following me for a little while now, you know that I don't take shots at any one or specific company. Not yet anyway, not unless I have reason to. I try to be unbiased with it and just be fair and call out what's really going on. And in this case, T-Mobile did a dirty job with that, right? But, they're saying that because of that, and because of the recent departure of Marcus East, and as well as them reorganizing and consolidating, which was several previously separated groups and teams, which we know about, right? We read about that recently with the marketing teams and whatnot from social media and all that. So with all this information, they're just following the trend here. On top of that, we have what apparently has been happening is, recent emails, internal emails sent to employees by the executive vice president who is in charge of transformation, right? And also the chief information and digital officer. The name is Nestor Cano. All right. Emails being sent to internal employees. They're using specific words like terms, should I say, like efficient, agile, hyper-connected, and overload. Okay. So these are hints that T-Mobile, they're saying that these are hints that T-Mobile may be looking to exercise some more departures. With everything going on within the company, we know that they've been doing more carrier-like, they've been making more carrier-like moves. So all that uncarrier and waiving fees, a lot of that is slowly slipping away as we see T-Mobile pretty much, they're breaking down that uncarrier mentality and starting to put on. So basically they're dumping the pink shirt, it looks like, and putting on a suit and a tie and starting to look a lot more like a carrier every day. A lot more business and a lot less fun. Once you take away all those perks, you know, you can no longer call yourself an uncarrier. That was what separated T-Mobile from AT&T and Verizon. Those two companies were always very serious. They never shied away from being a carrier. They felt the service was good enough to keep at a certain price. They didn't want to reduce costs. They didn't need to. T-Mobile came in and they wanted to be different. They wanted to waive fees and add more perks and make it a more likable, fun wireless service. And they've achieved that. It's worked for them. They've gained a ton of customers. But with everything getting so expensive now, you know, it's very hard for them to run business without raising fees. So don't be surprised if in another year or two, that whole uncarrier thing is just completely, they remove it or they're forced to remove it, is very well likely to happen as well. If they keep raising fees on certain things and removing perks, eventually that's going to be brought to the attention of the FCC and they're going to have to stop calling themselves that. I've already read in a couple of articles that people are already saying that, you know, how much before they have to remove that. So, okay. Obviously, the reasons for the departure of Marcus East are not officially known, not right now, as well as the groups and teams. They said that they want to restructure a little bit with the teams, and they've offered the ability for them to relocate to different departments. But, you know, it's kind of like it's a scheme. They know that a lot of them can't relocate. They can't go to different states, you know, or cities even. You know, they have families. They can't just uproot their life, you know, for T-Mobile. So, and they know that. And it's the same thing with AT&T offering the managers, 600 plus managers, the option to relocate if they want a job, or they know that you're not going to be able to do that. Most people, especially in a management position, they're probably a little bit older at that point. A lot of them have kids, a wife. They can't just do that, you know, especially when there's no guarantee that they would even be employed very long with the company. Well, once a company starts asking you to relocate, something's up, you know, especially if you've been in that position in that same location for a long time. You know, the signs are written, you know, it's written on the wall. So we have that. Okay. And pretty much what they're trying to say here is that they think if T-Mobile is going to keep employees, they're going to be basically looking at the highest performers. All right. So they're saying that, you know, you should be bringing your game if you're on T-Mobile's payroll, because they're going to be selecting who stays and who doesn't. And that's how it starts. That's how the downsizing starts, right? They keep the most profitable people, the most hardworking, the ones that have pretty much do everything that the company wants. The Model A, white glove service type employees, you know, and then the rest of them that are just normal and, you know, do what they got to do but don't live for the company, those will be the first to go. So, again, with sales not doing what they want, you know, look, all these companies have been making money. T-Mobile has had a profitable quarter. They've been making money, but we know that they've had to kind of sell themselves out a little bit over the years to do that. They've had to offer a bunch of perks. They've had to reduce costs on plans. They've had to give away devices, give away all kinds of stuff pretty much in order to attract customers over, to get them to come over, right? And they're not doing that as much anymore. So some people are leaving, even though they're still doing well. They are doing well. We see that they got a ton of, you know, customers over, but it's likely that when they make these decisions, they're not thinking about right now. Okay. So that's the thing. We can say, well, they just had a great quarter. They're looking at ultimately where they're going to go in the next year or two. And there's signs of trouble ahead for all these companies because it's just the projected growth, right? They see that, you know, customers are fading off of postpaid plans. They're just getting tired of it. They don't want it anymore. It's too much. Maybe it's too much money, right? And it could be a number of reasons why it's too much for them. Maybe they don't have income, or they don't see the value in a postpaid plan anymore like they did years ago. We've talked about that here, So a lot of them are moving to MVNOs. Maybe they're going to, Metro, which is still T-Mobile, but, it's not the same, right? You're paying $40 for Metro, okay? And T-Mobile's Go 5G basic plan is, what is it, 75? So, or I don't know, maybe it's a little less, but either way, it's more money, right? So T-Mobile is still losing money because you're going on their prepaid side, which is Metro, So, that's the thing. So ultimately what all these carriers would like is for you to sign up for their postpaid plans, pay the most that you can pay. This gives them the profit, but it's not working like that no more. And that's why they're offering other alternatives, because they'll take what they can get at this point, So at the end of the day, it's, they're just businesses. And all that really matters is that they get profits, and they're going to do whatever they got to do. Also, it's pretty safe to say that T-Mobile will ultimately at some point be looking at more automation. They've already closed a number of locations, and they're planning to close more retail locations. They're going to be eliminating more positions. At some point, a lot of your customer service will probably be dealt online with a chatbot through either an automated system that will pretty much try to answer as much as possible, and it'll probably make it very hard for you to get to somebody. You ever see now when you go to some of these websites, your favorite companies, and you ask a question and you try to say rep, they just keep trying to put you back to a main menu, and you have to just keep doing it until they finally give up, and then they send you over to somebody, So that's pretty much more of what we'll see. More than likely, it's how these companies are going to save money. AT&T has been tightening the belt greatly, and it's been working. And T-Mobile sees that it's been working for them. They're looking at their projected growth for the next year or two. What can happen? They have to take action now. They can't wait. What can happen is they can let all these people go. In 2 years, if they start making a ton of money again, they'll rehire. And that's how it goes. That's generation of generation. That's how businesses work. They lay off, a couple 100,000 people. When they start making money, they bring them all back. Then a couple of years, they just offload them again. That's why they say retail is a horrible business, because there's no guarantees there. You work really hard, you get nothing for it. Retail is a hard business to work in. So, that's the thing here. And that's what happens when you work for these super large companies. Unfortunately, their mistakes are your problems, the employees' problems. That's just how it works. So, but that's pretty much it here. I think ultimately get ready for more automated, a more automated type of service from these carriers. It's going to happen without a doubt. It's the way to go. It's cost effective. It gets the job done. Everyone still gets their service, and I think what T-Mobile's going to do for a while too is, as far as retail locations, they're going to close the locations that they don't feel are really profitable. For a while, they might start moving into other areas. It seems like they're starting to pay attention more, and I've talked about this in my most recent video. They're starting to pay more attention to the rural areas, the smaller towns that don't have a lot of competition, but yet their service is very good there, and they're going to open more locations there to bring business. So all they're really doing is paying more attention to where these locations are needed, right? So that's smart. I'm not upset with that. That makes sense. And as far as the employee layoffs, it's not right. But I guess if they don't need these departments, you know, and it's like I said, it's terrible. It's not good, but T-Mobile is definitely a company that wants to automate. They talk about it all the time. So I've said this in so many videos already regarding any subject with T-Mobile reducing costs and whatnot. It's right in front of your face. I mean, and anyone watching this, I'm sure most of you agree, it's nothing new here. I'm not telling you anything new that you probably don't already know. We know T-Mobile wants to do this. And ultimately, they all will follow this trend because they copy each other, because they're all looking at each other like, well, what's this company doing? How can I make money? How can we make more money? They're at competition. They want to beat each other. At the end of the day, they'd love nothing more than to be the only carrier around. And that's, how I feel about that. That's no good. We definitely don't want that. This is just a business. This business doesn't care. Like many say, the business doesn't care about the customers. They care about the profits. So there's nothing new there too. I'm not going to go into all that. We already know that, so I don't need to rehash that. But, don't be surprised if this comes out. We get another round of layoffs. That'll give us more details about which departments, I guess, that they're looking to eliminate. But now, just speculation, but highly likely. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and stopping by. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.